What if your pain wasn't just personal? What if it was installed, not by accident, not by chance, but by a system that benefits when you suffer? You think your sadness is yours. You think your shame came from one event. You think the anxiety is just how your brain works. But what if I told you it's been programmed, repeated, looped, embedded into your energy like malware in your emotional operating system? They don't teach this in therapy. They don't mention it in the science books. But ancient traditions, mystics, and those who've truly awakened, they knew. Pain is not just a feeling, it's a frequency, and that frequency can be transmitted through words, through environments, through beliefs passed down like spiritual infections. And once you're caught in the loop, the system doesn't need to do anything else. You'll hurt yourself over and over, automatically. And here's the most dangerous part. Your mind will justify it. It will normalize the pain until you think, this is just who I am. But it's not who you are. It's who they taught you to be. And once you see the code, you can start rewriting it. It started early, before you could name it, before you could fight back. A look, a punishment, a silence that lasted too long, and your nervous system recorded it, not as a memory, but as reality. I am not safe. I am not wanted. I must be perfect to be loved. You didn't write those lines, but they were programmed into you, quietly, repetitively, until they became your script. It wasn't always a scream. Sometimes the damage came through absence of affection, absence of validation, absence of someone simply saying, you matter. And in that void, your subconscious went searching, looking for patterns, looking for where the pain fits. So every similar experience later in life, a breakup, rejection, failure, it didn't hit you fresh. It reactivated the original wound, over and over, again and again. The same emotion, the same loop, because your system learned, this is what we know, this is what we repeat, and what repeats becomes identity. Unless you become aware, unless you go back, not to relive it, but to unhook from it. You think you're over it, you've talked it out, you've journaled, you've cried, but your body remembers. Your jaw still clenches when you feel judged. Your chest tightens before you speak your truth. Your stomach knots when love feels too close. That's not coincidence. That's not weakness. That's stored energy. Pain that hasn't moved settles. It nestles into the shoulders, wraps itself around the spine, clogs the solar plexus, and nests inside your gut like a ghost. And the thing is, you don't just feel it when it's triggered. You live through it. You shape your posture around it. You build beliefs to justify it. You filter relationships, opportunities, and decisions through it. Your pain becomes your compass, even when it's pointing the wrong way. This is why talking isn't always enough, because pain doesn't just sit in the mind. It burrows into the energetic field. In the chakra system, guilt sinks into the sacral, shame clogs the root, grief fills the heart space like heavy fog. It lingers there until you recognize it and move it. That's why breathwork heals, why movement shifts things, why sound can crack something open that words never touched. Because when you unlock the energy, you break the loop. And for the first time, you stop surviving your pain and start alchemizing it. Have you ever noticed the same kind of people keep showing up? The same triggers, the same situations, different names, different places, same wound. That's the loop. Not because you're unlucky, not because you're broken, but because your subconscious is trying to resolve what was never completed. It says, if I just get it right this time, if I prove I'm enough, if they stay, if I succeed, if I win, maybe the pain will finally end. But pain doesn't heal through repetition. It deepens. Every time you suppress it, every time you dismiss your truth, every time you ignore the discomfort, the loop tightens. Because here's what they never told you. Your energy field attracts what it hasn't yet integrated. Unhealed shame, you'll attract people who confirm it. Unprocessed grief, you'll find yourself in cycles of loss. You don't need more effort. You need awareness to see the pattern, to recognize it mid-spin, to whisper, I don't need this lesson again. And in that moment, something cracks. The loop weakens. You interrupt the program, not by force, but by witnessing it without running. And that is the beginning of freedom. You weren't just hurt by people. You were programmed by systems that told you suffering is noble. Endure silently. Don't question authority. Don't speak unless spoken to. Be small to be good. You didn't choose those beliefs. They were passed down like family heirlooms, wrapped in tradition, justified by scripture, sanctioned by culture. But under the surface, they were saying one thing: stay in pain and call it righteousness. And so you did. You smiled while breaking. You forgave when you should have screamed. You apologized for your own wounds. Because the system benefits when you don't rise. An unhealed person is easy to manipulate, easy to sell to, easy to control, so the programming continued. In classrooms, on screens, through repetition, until the lie became the default. This is just life. No one really heals. You're asking for too much. But now you see it. Now you remember. That pain was never sacred. It was strategic. It kept you from your voice, from your truth, from your power. And the moment you stop worshiping the wound, you begin to rewrite the story, not in defiance, but in liberation. Some of the pain you carry was never yours to begin with. It came from your mother, in the way her voice shook when she was afraid. It came from your father, in the silence he gave when he didn't know how to love. It came from ancestors who had no choice but to survive, who held in their screams, who buried their rage, who learned that safety meant silence. And that pain, it didn't vanish. It was passed down through tone, through habit, through DNA. Epigenetics now confirms what mystics always knew. Trauma is inherited. You were born into a story already in motion, a vibration already humming. And even before you spoke your first word, your body had already memorized the pain of others. So if it feels like you've been hurting your whole life, you probably have. Not just your life, theirs too. But here's the awakening. You don't have to keep carrying it. You can say, this ends with me, not in rebellion, but in reverence. You heal, and generations backward breathe easier. You break the cycle, and generations forward thank you silently. Because when one becomes aware, the whole line begins to shift. You can't think your way out of pain, because pain isn't just in the mind, it's in the field, it's in the body, it's in the frequency. So to break the loop, you need to work where the pain lives, in energy. Here's how the real shift begins. 1. Feel without flinching. When the pain rises, don't run, don't fix, don't numb, just stay, let it move. Emotion is energy in motion, but only if you let it. 2. Use the breath like a blade. Every conscious breath slices through static energy. Long inhales, slow exhales. Breath unlocks what words never could. 3. Shake, move, roar. You are not a statue. Trauma locks you, but movement frees you. Dance, shake, yell into a pillow. Let your body speak the pain your mind forgot how to say. 4. Say it out loud. The words you were afraid to say them. Name the pattern, call out the lie, expose the loop to light. 5. Create a new frequency. After the release, replace, use sound, use mantra, use truth. Speak, I am not the pain, I am the one who survived it. And now, I'm the one who dissolves it. Because now you're not in the loop, you're watching it. And from that place, you can end it. When the pain is gone, something strange happens: silence. And in that silence, your nervous system asks, what now? Who am I without this wound, without this loop? Because even pain becomes familiar, and familiarity feels safe, even when it hurts. But now you stand in a space that's empty, and emptiness isn't lack, it's possibility. This is where you write the new code, not with thoughts, not with hope, but with vibration. Every morning breath, every word spoken with presence, every movement that comes from truth. That's how you program your system again. No more stories of, I'm not enough. No more language of limitation. No more trauma-based decisions. Instead, speak. I am safe to feel. I am free to choose. I am aligned with something higher. Because healing is not just subtracting pain, it's adding power, creating a self that doesn't need to defend, prove, or earn worth. A self that knows, I am the pattern breaker. I am the frequency shifter. I am the new script. And from this new vibration, life starts to respond differently. Because you're not repeating, you're creating. If you're watching this, it's not by accident. It's because your soul made a decision before you were even born. The pain ends with me, not by escaping it, not by pretending it never happened, but by finally looking it in the eye and saying, no more. You didn't come here to suffer endlessly. You didn't incarnate to repeat old cycles. You came to transmute, to turn wounds into wisdom, to turn fear into fuel, to turn survival into sovereignty. And now you have something your past self never did: awareness. You've seen the loop, you've felt the code, you've recognized the infection, and you chose differently. And that one choice echoes through time, through your body, through your energy field, through your lineage. So when they ask, how did it change? Where did it shift? They'll say your name. They'll remember your silence, your breath, your moment of awakening. You are not just healing, you are rewriting reality. And now, you are free. They told you your system is anxious, overreactive, sensitive. But what if it's not broken? What if it's just been overloaded with unprocessed pain? Every trigger isn't the start of a breakdown. It's a signal, a flash, a flare that says, something here is still alive in me. See, your nervous system isn't your enemy, it's your alarm system. But when trauma becomes the background music, the alarms never stop ringing. You're not weak, you're not failing, you've just never been taught how to reset your inner circuit board. Because in a world that praises numbness, sensitivity is seen as a flaw. But what if it's a gift? What if your system feels more, so you can heal more? You don't need to silence your signals, you need to learn how to read them. And when you do, you stop reacting to pain and start responding with presence. You can release the memory, you can cry it out, you can breathe, scream, journal, pray. But if the belief stays, so does the pain. Because underneath the story, beneath the scars, are quiet whispers that say, I deserved it. I attract pain. This is all I've ever known. I'm not worthy of ease. You didn't choose these beliefs. They were planted in moments of vulnerability, reinforced by repetition, etched into the walls of your subconscious like code written in the dark. And the thing about beliefs is, they don't need to be true. They just need to feel familiar. So you recreate pain to confirm the belief, and the belief strengthens to justify the pain. It's a loop, but here's the way out. Bring the belief into the light. Name it, question it, interrupt it. Say, I no longer believe that love means pain. I no longer accept that I must struggle to grow. I choose a new truth, one built on freedom, not fear. Because the moment you challenge the belief, you start to break the energy pattern at the root. Your body holds pain, but your field remembers it longer. The human energy field, what mystics call the aura, what scientists now study as the biofield, isn't just woo-woo light. It's memory, vibration, and it's been absorbing your unspoken emotions for decades. That betrayal you swallowed, still there. That fear you ignored, floating in the outer ring. That guilt, wrapped around your solar plexus like static. And as long as it's there, your reality bends around it, because your field is what the world responds to. So to shift your life, you don't start with logic. You start with energy hygiene. Clean the field, clear the static, rewire the signal you're sending. How? Breathwork that opens inner space, sound, healing that breaks energetic residue, visualization that sweeps the stuck nature, silence, stillness, saying out loud, I release what no longer belongs. And with each release, you become lighter, clearer, more you. Because your pain isn't just inside you, it's around you. And once it's gone, the world starts treating you like someone new just arrived. When pain leaves, something else shows up. Stillness. And that stillness feels strange. Because you were used to the tension, to the racing thoughts, to the clench in your jaw, the ache in your chest, the buzz of anxiety beneath your skin. That was your normal, your default, your identity. Now, you wake up and don't feel chaos. And part of you says, wait, something's missing. That's not something missing. That's you without pain. But don't be surprised if your mind tries to pull the old habits back. It will search for drama, look for something to fix, scan for the next wound. That's okay. That's what minds do. But now you have something you didn't before, choice. You can say, no, we don't live there anymore. No, I don't need that reaction. No, I don't have to prove I've healed. I feel it. This new body, this new frequency, this new stillness, it's not empty. It's your baseline, your ground zero, your access point to clarity, creativity, and calm. You're not in survival anymore. You're in sovereignty. And now you move not from pain, but from presence. Even after the pain fades, there's a voice that lingers, not loud, not dramatic, just steady, familiar, relentless. It says, you're not there yet. You're faking it. They'll find out. Be careful. Don't shine too much. That voice isn't you. It's a recording, a loop, made up of parents' fears, teachers' criticisms, society's shame, religion's guilt. And because it sounds like your own voice, you believed it was the truth. But here's what's real. That voice is the final piece of the pain loop. Because even when the wound is gone, as long as the narrator keeps telling the same story, you keep playing the same character. So how do you change the script? You notice it, interrupt it, talk back. You say, I hear you. I understand you tried to keep me safe, but you're not in charge anymore. Then you replace it with a new voice, one that whispers, you're free now. You're allowed. You're powerful in your peace. Not motivational hype, not fake affirmations, just truth repeated with love until it becomes your new normal. Because healing isn't just emotional, it's narrative. And you get to be the one who rewrites the ending. You didn't just survive pain. You transmuted it. You didn't just escape the loop. You rewrote reality. And now, you walk differently, think differently, speak differently. Because the version of you that once felt powerless has become a source of power. And that matters, more than you know. Because now, everywhere you go, your energy shifts the room. Your clarity opens doors. Your freedom gives others permission. You're not just a healed person. You're a living transmission. You're what it looks like when pain ends and truth begins. So if the world feels heavy again, if the old voice creeps in, if the frequency drops, just pause, breathe, and remember, you are not the loop. You are the one who broke it. You are not your past. You are the one who walked through it. You are not alone. You are the light you were waiting for. And now, you carry that light for everyone still trapped in the dark.